it's like, okay, yeah, that all looks great, but what are you really doing? You're not here for the real work where you have to actually look at yourself and say, damn, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, no, and it really is like it's so like there's a special kind of grief and trauma that comes from the moment that I realized that somebody that I love a lot, that I feel like we were uh in a relatability, that we had an understanding of the fact that we're different, but we can learn what that means. And especially when they give me the extra space of that, they know that they don't have a narrative for me because there's an erasure in the media of me and my life and my narrative, and an overwhelming amount of programming that kind of informs the world that I don't even exist, right? Like people who acknowledge that really set me up for this to fucking cut and fuck me up, like just ruin my life. But like there's just this romantic ass Pollyanna idea kind of thing of what marginalized people's lives are going to be like and what that experience of being near it is going to be. I got to live in this thing. And they're all tripped up about like, what it sounds like to hear some of the process of it ever,
Right.
Like I'm like, man, like I don't like it either. Trust me. Like, fucking please believe me. And the fact that I'm loud about it in this way, like, seems to be the kind of thing that they feel they get to marginalize me more about. And that's really bullshit because I'm like, man, I thought we were through that part where you had to be tone policed. I thought we really had gotten to a good space in the world of being able to address everyone's realities in like a reasonable, authentic tone.
Yeah, I think that when you get to that space, and also like it's always not gonna be like with a true ally, you should be able to say those things or come to the point. It's really revelatory actually when you get to a place where something about their belief system or whatever has been revealed and they can't hear anything you're saying from you. It's like, well, you're
Right,
exhibiting the exact behavior of the oppressor in this conversation, in this
right,
moment, where you
right,
can't even take what I'm saying as real. you can't even you can't even acknowledge that because it's hurting your feelings or it doesn't
right.
align with your idea of who you were or are.
Well, and then, oh man, I get the one that's got me real fucked up right now the most. It's like the racism, the racial issue was acknowledged. It wasn't exactly racism, I'll say, but it was like a racial divide where I was like, we as people need to figure this out, and that's where the pain is on whiteness for me. And really, what I meant was, as a Black queer person, I'm feeling unseen. But I pointed out instead of in with it with my comment. And since I said whiteness instead of owning what it was that was getting hurt, right? I said what was hurting me instead of what was getting hurt. That triggered a acknowledgement of the white problem, but a continuous meltdown into well, I guess everything I do and say from now on is just going to be cast under this lens. And I was like, man, that wasn't, I thought I could say it and we would just put a pin on it and whatever, but you took the pin and you turned it somehow into like a paint bucket. You just started throwing it all over everything. Like, God, dude, like, I don't,
Right.
what just happened here? Like, you heard me, I guess. Like, that's not what I meant, though. Calm down, victim mode. Like, that's, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, it gets real. The more progressive, quote unquote, they are internally in their narrative, the more weird it gets for me sometimes. Like, the more like,